My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. Now, I like growing plants, I like showing you how to grow plants, and in this video we're going to look at this little gem. This is called Rodgersia, and it's called a hardy perennial. Perennial just means that it grows more than 2 years. Hardy, it stays outside year round. But the real benefit of this group of plants is that they put out new growth every year. So even if you have a nest of deer come and sit on your perennials in year one, the following year they'll regrow and look beautiful and fresh. And this means that you get nice fresh growth and there's no damage carried from one year to the next. Now, I like propagating. I like growing from seed, I like growing from division, and I love growing from cuttings. We're going to use a division method here where you dig up an existing crown. Take great care not to damage the top shoots. And you very carefully start to find the crown, release the soil from the sides, and then move it to your potting bench so that you can operate. Now, you might be tempted to jump in here with a pair of clippers, but I found that they will snap at the right place where there's a weak union, and you are ensured to get a chunk of root, as is the case right here. We get a little nubby point, and then we've got roots around the side. And the chances of you cutting that with clippers are pretty slim. So try and divide plants by hand first. And it's amazing, you'll take one off, and then that will release another little side shoot, as you see here. And then that will in turn then release another little side shoot. Sometimes it requires a little bit of effort. You might need to really push against it. And let's say you have a clump of plants, you end up with 7 or 8 nubbies. And as your first attempt, only 2 or 3 grow. That's okay. Keep going, keep persevering, and the more you do it, the better you will get at it. Now, perennials come in the widest ranges of heights and colors and fragrances, and you can't go wrong. And because they are vegetative growth, they put out new growth every year, I find them to be mesmerizing in the speed with which they grow. Now you can see me here, well, not yet, but I will resort to using the clippers because I come across a piece that is just a little bit too dense. I can't snap it. That's quite a large division, but it'll work. It'll work just fine. Later on, we're going to pot these up into individual pots, and I would recommend that you do that rather than putting them into a tray, because they might stay in there for 6 weeks, they could be in there 10 weeks, it may be 12 or 16 weeks, and you don't want to disturb your division. Just be patient and let it grow. Now, when it comes to growing medium, I use whatever I have at hand. You can use, it's your choice. I'm not going to advise you which mix is best. But I do know this, that they don't need to dry out, but they don't need to be too wet. So I'm going to leave you now so that you can watch the rest of these little plants get put into pots. I want to make the point that as you watch me do these 6 individual pots, not all of the little nubs that have snapped off are the same size. Some are much easier to plant than the others. This particular one is very large, and it's easy to put in the same amount of growing medium and then try and put the plant in there. It doesn't work. So have the discipline to take it out, empty it, set it at the right height. All of them have got the little growing nub below finished soil level, and that's very important. So although you're looking for uniformity and consistency, there is inevitably a little bit of variance between one split perennial and another. But try and give them all the same conditions, and you'll be well rewarded with lots of new plants. Now, Rodgersias are not cheap. I wouldn't say they're expensive, but I took my one Rodgersia and was able to divide it into 6, and now I can have a beautiful large clump next spring.